Is gracial mo clihú tír Conal Gallen. Well, táid an seo a Donegal, agus carimid fáilte rivalig a nacht tá nulagan seo, and we are delighted to be sending a very special edition to your home with various people, all from different walks of life here in Donegal, who want to share a little festive cheer and their story with you. So enjoy, and we wish you and your family a very happy and peaceful Christmas, and we'll all look forward to a lovely brand new year full of hope, health and happiness.
Looking from a window above, it's like a story of love. Can you hear me? I came back only yesterday, I'm moving further away. I want you near me, and all I needed was the love you gave. All I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. And sometimes when I think of her name, well, it's only a game. And I need you. Listen to the words that you say, it's getting harder to stay. When I see you, all I needed was the love you gave, and all I needed for another day, and all I ever knew, only you. This is gonna take a long time. I wonder what's mine. I can't take no more. Wonder if you'll understand. It's just the touch of your hand behind a closed door. And all I needed was the love you gave, and all I needed for another day. And all I ever knew, only you. And all I ever knew, only you. And all I ever knew, only you.
Deirdre, here we are in your beloved Harvey's Point and your beloved Donegal. So please, I know your story, but please tell us in your own words how it all began here at Harvey's Point.
Well, Noel, yes, it's great to be here. Sitting down for a change with yourself for a wee chat. Harvey's Point is just, I suppose, a story, a love story. I'm just lucky that I, as a local Donegal girl, found myself in a place I love, doing what I love with people I love. And over the last 28 years, it's been a wonderful journey for me, but also being part of a story of Harvey's Point, of its evolving over all this time. So I've enjoyed every minute so far anyway.
And take me back, prior to prior to Harvey's Point, tell us about your childhood and growing up and where you came from and where you grew up.
Well, I grew up in the town of Ballintra near Donegal town, and actually my playground was Rasnowla Beach because we were just overlooking Rasnowla Beach, and spent many happy years growing up in a big Irish noisy family, doing a lot of work with horses and on the farm, and going to school in Ballyshannon. Then in later years going to dances in the Abbey Hotel and having fun. And then I went to college in Limerick and studied languages and law. But all the while I'd worked in catering businesses as, you know, for summer jobs, etc. Worked in the Sandhouse Hotel and many other lovely properties like St. Ernan's in Donegal town. And then it was meant to be that perhaps catering was my career. And so it is. And
how did you end up at Harvey's Point?
Literally, through a friend, I got to know Jody Gisling, who was the seemingly the crazy Swiss man that was building something out on the shores of Loch Esk. And at that time I was working in London, in Kensington, in a hotel. And he said, would you like to work for the summer next year? And that was in '88. And I said, yeah, sure, it'd be great just for a summer job to get back home and be with my family and have fun. And so it was. The summer job started in March of '89 and it's still going on today.
And then, dare I say it, Mark arrived and you swept him off his feet.
No, he swept me off my feet. Well, he hadn't a word of English, no, that was the problem. But he was very shy. So we kind of, he was working in the kitchen as a chef and I was on reception. And all the staff, we used to go out together to socialise. And in time, and myself and Mark got chatting and I made a deal that I would teach him English if he would buy me pints of Guinness. And we also had interest in horses, so the two of us found ourselves spending more and more time together and working together all the time. So over the years, we just worked at Harvey's Point, but found our lives together, and happy family now with 3 kids as well. So it's been a good story.
Now, your love of tourism is well known. Your love of Donegal is well known, and 2 years ago, well, almost 2 years ago, you were awarded Donegal Person of the Year at a gala event in Dublin. Just tell us a little bit about your pride on that occasion and what that represented.
Well, Noel, I was absolutely over the moon. You know, the hotel had been lucky to be getting awards over the years, and that's all great because I am the hotel and the hotel is me. But the Donegal Person of the Year award was just such an honour and a privilege to be bestowed with such a great honour from people from Donegal. And I thought it wasn't true at the beginning, but you know, I felt just totally privileged and felt that it would be a great opportunity for me also to continue to fly the flag for Donegal wider afield, and it has helped in that sense as well. But it was a great day of pride to when I heard that I got the award, and very, very happy indeed.
And of course, Deirdre, needless to explain to people, but you're known all over the country because of your involvement with various associations, various organisations, and abroad as well. You sell Donegal very effectively in the 4 corners of the earth. Do you love that part of bringing that pride of place to another shore?
Oh, I certainly do, Noel. And, you know, it's great to work with, you know, Donegal Tourism and Tourism Ireland and Fáilte Ireland and all other stakeholders in the industry to go out to do sales calls, let's say in the US or any part of the US where the welcome is great and they really now see Donegal as an exciting destination.
What are your fondest memories of childhood Christmas, those magical moments that you carry with you in your heart?
Well, because we lived beside Rasnowla Beach, our family, 9 of us used to pile into the car. We'd go down to midnight mass in the Friary Rasnowla, and usually one of my parents might have been speaking, you know, doing the readings, and then coming home and opening the presents and waking up the next morning. You know, this was all before working came into play. But as a child, it was all about family, big noisy dinners, lots of food, and fun, and everyone enjoying each other's company. That's for me. And maybe on the next day then, St. Stephen's Day, going out on the horses maybe and taking a spin down to the beach or out the road for a wee ride. So very happy memories. A big Irish family, lots of noise, lots of fun.
What message have you today to send out to the great public there watching?
Well, first of all, to have a great Christmas and to look forward to 2018 with the great anticipation of happiness and health and goodwill for all.
A mum, a businesswoman, and an all-round ambassador at large, not just for Donegal but for Ireland. I wish you a Merry Christmas too, and of course the children and Mark, and thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story with us.
Thank you, Noel. Pleasure.
I'm Conal Gallen, comedian.
There's an American one day, he was walking down the beach in Donegal, and he's walking like that, he's going. And wasn't Murphy coming up the other side? He was coming like this. And the American, and I love the Americans, because when American arrived, he spoke. He says, Vietnam, 1968. Murphy says, dog shite, 30 yards away.
Well, I thought at this stage that it would be going a lot easier, but I think I'm busier than ever I was, honest to God, busier than ever I was. I'm just finishing up a play, our third play, comedy play again, How's Your Father? So we'll finish that, and starting after Christmas on the 27th of December, start my stand-up tour, and that takes me about 6 months to get that completed. So that's how busy I am. I start actually just after Christmas, and then I work at 27th, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th. I take New Year's Eve off, and then I start every New Year in the Villa Rose in Balbafay. Every New Year, so that's a big night. It's my only gig at home, and you get a lot of people who come from different parts, and they come and they stay and they make a weekend out of it. So it's a big night. It's a great way to start. Myself and my son Rory. It was Rory's idea about 5 years ago now. I just driving along in the car one night coming back from my gig, and he says, why don't we do a play? And of course, me being innocent, I thought he had some play in mind. I said, well, what play were you thinking on? And you know, she said, sure, we'll write one. And that, right, no bother. So, you know, the first thing you started with, funny that we thought about writing a play. And of course I started to think of logistics of it. I thought, how many people will we need? We're going to need a lorry, we're going to need a pile of stuff. And as a guy said to me one time, I did a television program for him as a writer, and he said, do you know, when you're writing, it's great. He says, you can write the script, you know, James steps off, you know, the private jet, the Lear jet, you know. He says, and then you get the budget and the line is changed, James gets off the bus. And in the middle of doing this last run of the play, I did actually one stand-up show, and I was a wee bit wary about going on stage, but I wasn't on 2 minutes and you're in full flow again. And I'll just get the phone here, just 1 wee second, just hang on. I'll just, sorry, I'm very, very, very sorry. I picked a very bad time to ring. I'm actually in the middle of a television interview here at the moment. So, all right, I'll call you back. That's actually one of the guys in the play. I love recording live stuff. I'll just put this on silent. There's the main characters in the play are Bridie and Willie Murphy, and their next door neighbour Dick. And there's a Bridie and a Willie and a Dick in every town. So I always imagine people watching the show and say, I know who he's talking about. I know. It's when you're telling a story. Is it when you're telling somebody, even in doing the stand-up, and you're telling a joke, it's like, when people are listening, this is what I like to think, people are listening to the joke, they've got a wee film running in their head. And when you say, Murphy is standing at the bar, well, you're looking at a different bar than he's looking at a different bar, and but everybody's seeing the same story, but it's in a different place, you know, and a different, maybe Murphy's bald, or maybe Murphy has a cap or whatever, you know. But so probably you do pick from, I'm afraid to say local people, because everybody's saying, does he mean me there? But I don't. I mean everybody. I mean a bit of everybody. It's funny that I always have a memory, because we used to live here in the town down in Avenue Street. My father had a pub, and we lived above the pub, you know. And it's one of my first ever memories. I remember the kitchen had a red small tiled floor, and my first memory of Christmas was coming down, and there was 5 of us. Only 3 of us born at that time, and 3 little piles of presents you know, in neat piles here. At that stage, you're going on your holster and your cowboy hat, you know what I mean, and your imagination, which was the best thing anybody ever gave you. And I remember Pat, Conal, and Peggy, all the row, and this lovely little thing in the top with our names on it, you know. And I remember thinking that at that time that Santa Claus was a beautiful writer, exactly like my mother. His handwriting, it was just every bit as good as my mother's. You know, I've been amazing thinking, God, he's good, you know. I give you a Christmas message is forget about the bad stuff and keep an eye. We're all too easy to complain about this and complain about that and forget. I've developed a great thing this last while, and you know it really has gratitude, to be grateful for everything that you have, no matter how little. Because you'll always look at somebody that has something else anyway. But be grateful for what you have yourself. I'm grateful. Gee, I'm grateful to have me. I'm grateful to be able to get up in the morning through God. No, and so just be grateful and keep smiling. You know, and if I was think, if everybody, and somebody told me that, if everybody in the world did something good for somebody else in the world and didn't tell them, you can imagine the whole world would change in one instant. So just do something nice for somebody. You don't have to bum about it. You know. And a Merry Christmas.
The boy held him there for 10 seconds, dragged him up. My friend, do you see Jesus? Murphy spitting and farting him. I said, say nothing. Pushed him there for 20 seconds. He pulled him up and said, my friend, do you see Jesus? And Murphy said, he says, are you sure this is where he fell in?
I need you to listen and obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, fight clean. Good luck to both of you.
All right, let's go to the tail of the tape presented by Tecate. There's a 1-inch reach advantage for Glenn Tapia. He's also fought 70 more rounds than Jason Quigley, but look at the time since their last fight. He's been out of the ring 3 times as long as Jason Quigley, who's fighting for the first time in 2017.
Looking back at 2017, if you had told me in 2016 this is the way 2017 is going to end with the career, the record, everything like that, I would have grabbed it with both hands. You know, I won my first belt, the NABF middleweight title. I did my first main event live on ESPN for Golden Boy, you know, and I won it. And I've moved into the top 10 rankings in the world also. Sold out my first arena over in California. You know, there's not many people from Ireland that can go over to California, sell out an arena and win a belt and everything like that. So I'm taking all the positives away from it. And I'm moving in now to 2018 with about a long rest behind my back, you know, and it was done me the world of good. Made me and gave me the time to filter out some things that I had to filter out in my career. And that is all done, and I'm just absolutely buzzing and excited now to come into 2018. The first thing I can remember is I visioned myself lifting the title, but I couldn't lift it because of my hand. So that was a disaster right away. But no, you know, it was a great feeling. I remember, you know, visioning everything, you know, from the first bell to the end, to lifting the belt, everything like that. And, you know, everything came true, everything happened, and it was a brilliant achievement. It was a brilliant achievement personally, just for myself, because when you turn professional, the first thing you look at is becoming world champion, getting those belts, and that was my first taste, my first smell of a bit of leather on the belt, the gold on it, everything like that, and wrapping it around my waist. That was the first taste I had, and as soon as I got it, I was like, right, what's next? Where can we go from here? And obviously then the injury and all that there, you know, it held me back a bit, but you know, you look at it, I had one fight last year, I won the NABF middleweight title. I'm into now the top 10 in the world rankings, and I'm just delighted with everything, the way everything has went. You know, breaking the hand, as I says, happened for a reason. Give me a chance to make big moves and big changes in my career, and it's all for the best. In my heart and in my stomach, you know, it feels good. And I think that's exactly what you have to do in life, is go with what your heart feels and what your stomach feels. If it feels right, you go with it and you make it happen, because that's exactly what I've done right now. You know, it's a big, big move. A lot of people are going to question me. A lot of people are going to say this, say that, whatever. But this move is absolutely perfect for me right now. Moving over to Sheffield in England, training with Dominic Ingle, you know, a great, renowned fighter, a great renowned coach, fought in his day as well, but for me is the champions that him and his father have brought through the gym has been unbelievable, you know. And now looking at the fighters that he has, he's training Billy Joe Saunders, he's training Kell Brook, you know, it's a continuous success story coming through there, and I plan on being another success story to come through the doors of that gym. Whenever we used to get loads of snow at Christmas, I remember getting the turf bags out and starting to slide down the hills back in Lahey where I was originally grew up. You know, that's a happy memory for me. But of course then you get the memories then of not eating the turkey sometimes because you have championships in the new year and different things like that. But Christmas is always a great time, you know, it's always a great time to, you know, I think to share the love to people that you see now that may be homeless this time of the year, people that might be able to afford a turkey for dinner. You know, I think it's a great time of the year now for people to start giving back, and if you can, you know, if you're comfortable enough to give back, I think it's because for me personally, I get such a great feeling out of doing that, you know. And what I was saying earlier, when it feels right in your heart and it feels right in your stomach, I think them's the things that you do in life, because life, of course you need money to get by and you need all that there, but life is about enjoying it and being happy, and once you can do that, you'll go on to be successful and you'll earn money and everything will come with it. But for me, Christmas is a special time of the year with the people that you love, friends, family, everything like that, and also to give a bit of thought to the people that may not have a family, that may not have the money to, as he says, get the presents under the Christmas tree and stuff like that. So, you know, it's definitely a very special time of the year, and it's a great time of the year as well to make people feel special also. Get that away. Oh, sir. Up the McConnell's arch here. Get him up the McConnell's arch. Can't see. Huh? I'm not ready for you yet, sir. Another few years to go yet. Huh?
Golden Boy promised good competitive action. Quigley wins this fight.
Brian O'Donnell, Road Safety Officer with Donegal County Council. This is a very important time for family and friends at this time of the year. Christmas is a time for everybody to enjoy, and we just appeal to all road users not to drink and drive. When I mean all road users, pedestrians as well, just be careful when you take a drink that you make sure you have a safe way of getting home. But to motorists, please do not drink and drive. It's probably one of the most selfish things a motorist can do, to put the lives of other road users at risk by stepping into a car, turning the key and setting off with drink in their system when they're not capable of driving. One drink will impair your driving. No matter what people say, it will affect your capability of driving, and we just appeal. It's a joyous time of the year, and we'd like people just to enjoy it for the right reasons and don't bring tragedy or fatalities to your doorstep, because it's harrowing and it's very easily avoided. And just to plan your evening ahead, if you are going out, you don't drink as a mistake. You plan to drink, you plan to go out and have a drink. So if you are doing that, leave your car at home, make plans to get to the venue, make plans to get home again. There's plenty of taxis. I know people will say that they're out in the country, but you will be able to get home at this time of the year. Venues will arrange for you to get home. You won't be left out in a limb, but please just be careful. Plan your night, plan to get home, and the morning after is a dangerous time as well. A lot of people will be off next week, so there's no reason for you to step in a car the following morning after being out the night before having a few drinks. Just be careful the next morning, because drink still will be in your system and you will not be capable of driving. And on behalf of everybody involved in the Donegal Road Safety Working Group, we'd like to wish everyone a safe and happy Christmas and New Year.
You know, I feel like the Queen making her annual Christmas Day broadcast here. I am a proud Donegal man. I wear my Donegal badge with pride wherever I go. I'm very fortunate. I have a wonderfully varied life. I do some television, I do some radio. I have my base here in beautiful Donegal in this fantastic hotel, Harvey's Point. So all of those elements are all perfect fits for what I do. And I always say my main purpose in life is to promote Donegal, to promote its people, to promote the hospitality that is there for all to see and all to enjoy. And those of you who haven't been, come sample for yourself that fáilte, that ced míle fáilte that we have here in the hills of Donegal. And it also helps combine some charitable endeavours that I'm involved in. I am very privileged that we now have a Cancer Care West Donegal centre opened in Letterkenny. I do work with the Blue Stack Foundation for Special Needs here in Donegal town. I lend my support to Act for Meningitis down in Galway. I do work for a lot of different organisations. I suppose, if I'm being honest, my greatest pleasure is when people ask if I can come to MC a little event or a little fashion show in a little pub or a little sort of hall or a little community centre, you know, where there's some little group that might be doing some good in some area of community. They have no funds, they need a few bob maybe to, you know, just have a wee party for children, or to buy a phone or a bike, or to help some family in distress. So I'm very privileged that because of the award that I got in London, Donegal Person of the Year, or any other little accolade that comes my way, it gives me, as Daniel O'Donnell says, a slightly louder voice. I'm lucky I have a voice. I'm known a little, not only in Donegal but in Ireland, and anything you win makes that sort of little bit of profile higher and the voice a little louder, so that when I go cap in hand and say, please, will you help me? I need a little assistance for A, B or C, people are forthcoming and do so. I have a fantastic life. Last weekend I was in London in the Hilton celebrating with Tony McFadden and his fantastic committee. Tony's from Falcara, and they do sterling work over there. The ball is a great event. The great and the good from Donegal gather. It's like a little bit of Donegal in the heart of London for that wonderful weekend. And then, you know, I get in the car and come back here to Harvey's Point. We have a big local wedding, so I'm there to say hello to the bride and kiss the groom, I always say, and that's kind of fun, and they like to see you, and it makes it a wee bit different for them, because some of their guests see you and they say, what's he doing here? You know, I saw him on television. You know, it's all a bit of crack, and that's what it is. It's all a bit of crack. It's an opportunity to do a wee bit of good, to make somebody's life a wee bit better. And I thoroughly enjoy that, and every day I give gratitude to that. And above all else, that is what Donegal has done for me. When I came home 21 years ago, Donegal took me in its arms and in its embrace and held me there ever since. And I just feel supported and loved by Donegal in general, and of course my beloved family in particular. So I'm a very lucky man, and I'm a very privileged person. We're getting better. We're all doing our bit. It starts with us. Fly the flag, bang the drum, and then we have to start getting a little bit more cranky and more demanding, that we go to our public representatives and say, look, the time for chatting and being fobbed off is over. We need a train service coming into Donegal. We have the main tracks there. For God's sake, go and sort it. You know, that's how change is brought about. We let our public representatives away sometimes too lightly. We don't shout often enough, and we don't shout loud enough. So there is lots to be done. Lots of places to visit around the world, wearing just a tourism hat and saying, look, come to Donegal. We're not the back of beyonds. My favourite Christmas memory was probably going to the concert in Kilcar on Christmas night. You know, you'd had a wonderful dinner that you would normally have, that's the reality. You sort of played around in the afternoon, early evening, and then we all walked into Kilcar on usually what I remember as, and I'm sure they weren't always like that, but they always seemed to be crisp, sort of wintry, frosty nights with loads of stars in the sky. But then I've always been a romantic. And my own Christmas wish this year, like every year, is to look out for one another, to care for one another, you know, to put the arm around the stranger, to put the arm around the person who may have nobody in their lives, that just might need a greeting or an offer of a cup of tea, and just to show that you care too, and just for some semblance of peace to reign, because our world is very troubled at the moment, so we should be sending positive vibes to the universe to just bring peace.
If you had one message to Donegal people and to Irish people maybe abroad this year who have found themselves there and maybe would prefer not to be there, what would you wish for them?
I'm saying to you, absolutely, I have a big hug waiting for you. Come on home soon. And I spent many Christmases away from home, and certainly on Christmas morning when you wake up, it would be sort of unnatural if you didn't sort of pine at some stage for family and friends and home. And to all of you I say, enjoy that thought, hold that thought, but plan in your head that next year, please God, at Christmas, I'll be in Donegal.
Well, here at McGettigan's Hotel and the Warehouse Bar in Letterkenny, it's all about Christmas at the moment. It's about family and friends gathering together for the festive season. That our Christmas season started off with the turning on of the lights here. It was done by Jason Quigley. I mean, we also had Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus on the night. That our Christmas party night has been a huge success here at McGettigan's Hotel and also at our sister hotel at the Clanry Hotel. This season, I mean, is a very, you know, festive. I mean, and you know, basically, we're wishing all families and friends, you know, have a great time at Christmas and enjoy each other's company in that. Over the festive season, of course, here, I mean, at the Warehouse Bar, we have music right over the festive season. I mean, the Warehouse Bar has become very popular here as the, you know, most entertainment venue here in Letterkenny at the moment. I mean, every Saturday night it is packed to the rafters. I mean, we have entertainment DJs right out to the new year. We're running from St. Stephen's night. We go for 7 nights in a row, entertainment every night. That also at our sister hotel at the Clanry, and that means we have a country night on the Wednesday 27th. That means it's all Donegal local artists. It's the finest talent in Donegal entertaining on 27th at the Clanry Hotel. Also, we have Smokey coming up in the new year. We also have the 7 Drunken Nights coming up at the Clanry also in the new year.
Hello and Merry Christmas from all here at Castle Grove Country House Hotel in Donegal. My name is Paul Brady. I'm here to give you a couple of cooking tips that will hopefully help your Christmas dinner. So here are my 5 tips for cooking the perfect Christmas dinner. First off, being organised. Schedule, arrange your Christmas turkey about a month in advance. Make sure you have the perfect turkey. Organise with your local butcher, with your local farmer if you can, and making sure you pick organic, free range, nice size if it's suited for, if it's cooking for 1 person, if it's cooking for 5, making sure you do the right size for it. So cooking your perfect Christmas turkey. First we want to put the bird into a brine of 300 grams of salt to 5 litres of water, and we leave this overnight just to soak, and this will give it a lovely moist turkey when cooking it overnight. Then we're going to cook the turkey for 12 hours the night before at 70 degrees. This is a very low heat with the low temperatures makes the turkey perfectly moist. Also, you can carry on doing everything you need to do. You don't need to worry about it overcooking because it's only 70 degrees. Tip 3 to the perfect Christmas dinner: having everything pre-cooked and arranged and organised for yourself the night before. you don't need to be cooking everything the day of Christmas. You know, you'll have all the family around, you don't need to be stuck in the kitchen. So power blanch your vegetables at boiling water, salted water, and the next day just have them cool down, and in an oven, high oven with some sugar, salt, have your roasted carrots, parsnips, Brussels sprouts if needed. Not a fan, but you can have them there. And Christmas stuffing, big favourite of mine, but so many different ways to do it. I'm actually against the method of stuffing the bird because it slows down the cooking of the bird and also dries out the bird. And a great way of cooking it also is cooking it separately. You get to taste it as you go along, and it's ready again the night before. Just one, have you ever cooked with your apricots and your butter and sausage meat? Just roll it into a sausage type figure with some tin foil and just reheat it in the oven, 30 minutes, ready to go. So to finish your perfect turkey, set your oven to the highest temperature it can go. Cover your turkey with a little bit of butter and place the turkey in for about 10 to 12 minutes. What this will do will give it a lovely golden crisp colour, and it's also a perfect time to add your stuffing and your roasted potatoes and your roasted vegetables all in to finish at the same time. That's my top tips for Christmas dinner, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Bhí lá mór a gcineann seo, bhí sé go handeas le daoine go hana iontacht ar fad. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you are. It's been a pleasure, and it's also been a pleasure for me to talk to so many fine Donegal people that I not only know but admire greatly. And wherever you are, as I say, don't forget, in the year ahead, pencil in that visit back home, and each and every one of the people you saw talking earlier are here with myself to extend the warmest Donegal fáilte to you, your family and your friends.
It was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk time, and an old man said to me, won't see another one. And then he sang a song, the rare old mountain dew. I turned my face away and I dreamed all about you. I got on a lucky one, came in at 18 to 1. I've got a feeling this year is for me and you. So happy Christmas, I love you, baby. There's going to be good times when all our dreams come true. They've got cars big as bars and rivers of gold. Where the wind goes right through, it's no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas Eve, you promised me Broadway was waiting for me. You were handsome and pretty, Queen of New York City. When the band finished playing, the crowd held for more. Sinatra was swinging, all the drunks, they were singing. We kissed on the corner, danced round the floor, and the boys from the NYPD choir were singing Galway Bay, and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. I could have been someone, so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when I first found you. I kept them with me, babe, and I put them with my own I built my dreams around you. You're a bum, you're a punk, grown all her and drunk, lying there on the drip, nearly dead in the bed. You scumbag, you maggot, you cheap lousy faggot. Happy Christmas, me arse. I pray God it's our last. Oh yeah. And the boys from the NYPD choir were singing Galway Bay, and the bells were ringing out. Yeah, the bells were ringing out. Ah, the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. I love you, baby. There's going to be good times when all